Today, we are going to be talking about some very interesting parts of the brain. So this is my diagram of the brain, and this is the left side or the left hemisphere. So just think of it as looking into the left side of your head. Okay, so the brain is divided into 4 major lobes or areas. So the first lobe is the frontal lobe, the red one. And that is responsible for the cognitive functions, like learning and remembering and decision-making. Next, we have the parietal lobe, which is this blue one. And this one is responsible for processing information about temperature, touch, taste, and movement. The third is this green one. It's called the occipital lobe. And that's primarily responsible for vision or seeing. The last lobe we're going to talk about is the temporal lobe, which is responsible for some things such as hearing, memory, and emotion, just to name a few. All right, so now we're going to talk about how these lobes are divided or separated in the brain. So I'm going to be using a word, sulcus, and that's just a groove or a valley in between the lobes. So this green one is called the central sulcus, which divides the frontal and the parietal lobe. Next, I have the parietal occipital sulcus, which divides the parietal lobe from the occipital lobe. And the last is called a lateral fissure, and that divides the temporal lobe from the frontal and the parietal lobe.